We're kicking off with WWE's Netflix series Unreal, which is making waves, but not everyone's impressed with what they're seeing behind the curtain. Instead of being celebrated for transparency, the 5-part docuseries is drawing fire from industry insiders, especially for what critics say is a calculated effort to reshape the public image of Paul "Triple H" Levesque as the mastermind behind WWE's success. On the July 31st episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer revealed that several of his friends in the film and television industry, people with experience producing and directing documentaries, watched the series and came away with a clear takeaway. They all said the entire purpose of the show was to position Paul Levesque as the genius behind everything. It was just like UFC with Dana White. They want a single face of the brand. Meltzer didn't pull any punches, claiming the show selectively frames WWE's internal workings. While top stars like Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley were shown in a positive light, Meltzer argued their roles felt more like supporting characters in a much larger narrative driven by Levesque. He also criticized the series for sidestepping major real-life developments such as The Rock's reported creative influence during his return and downplaying backstage controversies. Meltzer pointed out how Bruce Pritchard and Ed Koskey were credited with various booking calls in the show, despite those decisions being far more divisive behind the scenes. They left out a lot of the real conflict. This wasn't some raw behind-the-scenes expose. It was a very carefully edited piece that tells one version of the story. Meanwhile, Chris Weaver, who directed the series alongside NFL Films, spoke to Fightful's Joe Pearl and Jeremy Lambert about the possibility of a second season. While there's no official confirmation yet, Weaver hinted that more content could be on the way. "We've loved working on this. I think there's a lot more story to tell. Obviously, it's up to WWE and Netflix, but I'd love to keep going." At this point, it remains unclear whether the Backlash will influence future episodes or if WWE and Netflix will double down on the tone they've already set. Either way, Unreal is proving to be just as polarizing as the characters it follows. So, what do you think? Did WWE Unreal show the real story behind the scenes, or did it simply put Triple H in the spotlight while glossing over deeper truths? Let us know in the comments. Speaking of Triple H, WWE's chief content officer was among the special guests at the White House on Thursday, July 31st, where he joined U.S. President Donald Trump for the signing of a new executive order aimed at revitalizing the Presidential Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. The ceremony, held inside the Roosevelt Room, marked the official return of the historic Fitness Challenge program that originally ran until 2012. The updated initiative will now be overseen by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with a renewed focus on youth engagement and physical wellness. President Trump personally acknowledged Triple H during the event, praising the 14-time world champion's influence and presence in the world of sports and entertainment. Triple H delivered a short but focused address about the importance of building healthy habits early in life. But it was a lighthearted moment after the speeches that stole the internet. In front of a surprised crowd, Triple H broke out his signature water spray pose right there at the White House. The unexpected nod to his wrestling persona immediately lit up social media. The official White House account even shared the clip, making it one of the most talked about moments of the day. How do you feel about WWE representing WWE on a national platform like this? Was the water spray pose a fun touch? Sound off in the comments. Karrion Kross's WWE contract is reportedly nearing its end, and right now, there's no confirmation on whether he's re-signed with the company. While things remain unclear, Kross himself has now addressed the situation during an interview with Radio Battleground. He avoided giving a direct answer, saying it wasn't the right time to talk, but hinted that things should become clearer over the next 30 days. That 30-day time frame is raising eyebrows, especially since his contract is believed to expire in August. If true, SummerSlam could be his final WWE appearance, unless a new deal is reached before then. WWE may be using the SummerSlam spotlight as a way to keep him invested or encourage him to stay. On the other hand, it's also possible he's already re-signed and this is all part of a storyline. Either way, fans should expect answers soon. Do you think WWE should lock Kross in long-term, or has his momentum run out? Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Cody Rhodes news now, as the American Nightmare is finally opening up about the real reason he left AEW, and according to him, it wasn't about money, creative, or scheduling, it was about something deeper: respect. Appearing on the Ringer podcast, the former AEW EVP didn't hold back when asked about his sudden departure from the company he helped create. "If I ever felt disrespected ever at WWE, that's one thing. That's a company that was built. That's the Yankees. That's the flagship of it all." Rhodes further said, "Feeling disrespected at something I built with my friends that we built, feeling disrespected there, I wouldn't stand for it." While Cody didn't name names, his tone made it clear that the tension ran deep. He also hinted that many underestimated just how much of a role he played in AEW's foundation. "The greatest revenge on earth is success. I did way more here than you think, and you're going to find out the moment I'm out the door." Still, the departure wasn't entirely bitter. Cody acknowledged the emotional weight of leaving, especially when it came to relationships with fellow AEW founders. "There's clearly bad blood, but there's also clearly respect and love," he said when referencing his bond with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. His words mark one of the most direct statements he's made about AEW since his return to WWE in 2022. But Cody's not done reflecting on his future, and he isn't shutting the door on a character shift that could shock fans. During an appearance on First Take, Cody was asked by Stephen A. Smith whether fans might one day see him turn heel following the buzz around John Cena's own recent dark turn. Cody didn't dismiss the idea, but warned that if it happens, it won't be a typical heel switch. "I always like to say, in what we do, never say never, and the more you're in this, it's probably likely, but I think my version of a heel is just way too, I don't know. I wouldn't have music. The song would go away. The entrance would go away. I'd try to get myself canceled. I don't know if it would even translate." While most WWE stars turn heel with new catchphrases or louder boos, Cody envisions something much more radical, borderline self-destructive. Rhodes continues to thrive as one of WWE's most beloved babyfaces, but if he ever goes to the dark side, it won't be by half measures. What's your take on Cody's AEW exit and his wild idea of a heel turn? Would it work in today's WWE? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. WWE is currently gearing up for one of the biggest weekends of the year with the first ever two-night SummerSlam, but the company has hit a serious problem. While the match card may be put together to entice fans to attend the show, a weather issue is going to cause problems for attendees. It isn't just fans that'll be dealing with issues either, as Fightful Select has revealed that the weather in New York, New Jersey has led to travel delays and cancellations that have impacted WWE's own crew. This situation has caused problems with the SummerSlam set, which is currently being built by WWE, as flood warnings issued during the early afternoon on July 31st have shut down construction. Staff were removed as a shelter-in-place protocol was initiated, as conditions have worsened, meaning there will be a holdup in constructing the set due to weather-related issues. Fortunately for WWE fans, sources have indicated that there is no concern regarding the set being finished in time for everyone to enjoy SummerSlam this weekend. Just days after the wrestling world mourned the loss of Hulk Hogan, a powerful tribute has been made official. His son Nick Hogan revealed that August 1st will now be recognized as Hulk Hogan Day in the state of Florida. On July 31st, Nick took to Instagram to share the news, posting a photo of the signed memorandum issued by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. In the caption, Nick reflected on his father's bond with the Sunshine State and wrote, "Tomorrow, August 1st, is officially Hulk Hogan Day in the state of Florida. My dad was a true Floridian and loved his home state. Thank you for this honor, Ron DeSantis. He would be so proud of this." According to the order, all state flags, including those at the Capitol and across Pinellas County, will be flown at half-staff on August 1st to honor Hogan, who passed away on July 24th at the age of 71. Meanwhile, the official cause of death has now been confirmed by the Pinellas County Forensic Science Center. Hulk Hogan, whose real name was Terry Belair, died of acute myocardial infarction, commonly known as a heart attack. But that wasn't all. The autopsy revealed Hogan had also been battling a serious undisclosed health condition. According to Page 6, Hogan had a history of chronic lymphocytic leukemia, a type of cancer that affects the white blood cells called lymphocytes. This diagnosis had never been made public before his death. The report also stated that Hogan had an atrial fibrillation, or AFib, a condition involving irregular and often rapid heartbeats. Per the records, the former WWE superstar also had a history of leukemia CLL, a type of cancer that affects white blood cells called lymphocytes, Page 6 reported. The revelation has left many fans stunned, not only by Hogan's sudden passing, but how privately he battled such a serious illness. The announcement of Hulk Hogan Day brings a moment of honor, even as new layers of his life and health struggles come to light. And Hogan's story continues to make waves beyond the ring. In a surprising development, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have quietly scrapped their planned Hulk Hogan documentary, Killing Gawker, but not because of his death. According to TMZ, the project was dropped by their production company, Artists Equity, well before Hogan passed away. Sources familiar with the matter said a decision to shelve the film happened a while ago and is unrelated to his passing. Affleck had been set to portray Hulk Hogan, with Damon slated to play billionaire Peter Thiel, the man who secretly funded Hogan's lawsuit against Gawker. That lawsuit famously resulted in a $140 million judgment and the eventual shutdown of the media outlet. The film was expected to chronicle the high-stakes legal battle, but the project is now officially dead. No reason has been publicly given for the cancellation, however, there had reportedly been legal friction behind the scenes. Hogan had previously suggested he would take action if the film crossed certain lines tied to his personal privacy, though it remains unclear if that played any role in the decision. With both the tribute and the cancellation happening around the same time, Hogan's legacy continues to spark conversation on both emotional and legal fronts. Do you think killing Gawker deserved to be made, or should Hogan's legacy stay focused on his in-ring contributions? Let us know what you think in the comments. Now, Brie Bella recently said a WWE return was unlikely because her husband Bryan Danielson is signed with AEW, calling it a roadblock, but just days before SummerSlam 2025, she was spotted near MetLife Stadium, the exact venue hosting WWE's two-night event this weekend. WWE hasn't confirmed her involvement, but the timing has fans buzzing. Could we be in for a surprise throwback appearance? Do you think Brie Bella is making a one-night return at SummerSlam, or is it all just coincidence? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Bray Wyatt is one of the most iconic wrestlers of his generation, and his legacy is something that continues to be honored by the Wyatt Six with a very unique experience now confirmed. While the Wyatt Six are honoring Bray on television, fans will now be able to do so away from the wrestling ring at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, Florida. It was revealed that the Wyatt Six will be a part of that event, with a horror maze being created specifically for the WWE faction called WWE Presents The Horrors of the Wyatt Six. Universal's event runs from August 29th to November 2nd, giving fans ample time to attend and experience this, and those who do might end up bumping into a familiar face. That's because former WWE superstar and Wyatt family member Braun Strowman has teased attending the event. Strowman shared the promotional graphic for the event along with a message to the fans. "Should I go in my OG Wyatt gear and see if people believe it's me?" Strowman was released by WWE earlier this year and is currently focusing on his life outside of professional wrestling, working on a new show called Everything on the Menu with Braun Strowman, which is set to be released this fall on the USA Network. It's an interesting show given that he is using his WWE name as part of the show, rather than his real name Adam Scherr, even though he no longer works for WWE. That could potentially be a tease for what's to come in his long-term future, with Strowman having not wrestled for another company at this point. Strowman had been a dominant part of the original Wyatt family group, and that opportunity led to him becoming a very close friend with Bray. They bonded throughout their time in WWE, with Strowman even being named the godfather of Wyatt's son, Nash Rotunda. This isn't the first time Strowman has been released by WWE, as he was previously let go in June 2021, however he re-signed with the company in September 2022, marking the start of another run. Whether Strowman ends up returning to WWE for a third spell will remain to be seen, but those who are looking to get their fix of the monster among men might be able to do so within this horror maze. Now, there's been backlash in the wrestling community this week toward Blake Monroe due to her controversial promo on WWE NXT, where fans felt that she had crossed the line. Monroe opted to body shame her current rival Jordynne Grace by showing old photos of her and claiming that she wasn't championship material, but rather gym membership material. The newest NXT star has given a response to the situation by responding to a tweet that said, "Men used to go to war and build houses with their bare hands for women like Blake Monroe." The former AEW star then quoted that tweet by saying, "Now all they do is bitch about me on Twitter," seemingly mocking those who are taking shots at her right now. It now remains to be seen whether WWE references the ongoing situation on NXT next week, or if they look to quickly pivot away from the drama. Away from WWE, a major surprise took place at the latest AAA event when Dominik Mysterio made a surprise appearance, and it appears that WWE is ready to capitalize on the buzz that's come from it. Mysterio got a significant reaction from fans in the moment, and now WWE intends to use the Judgment Day star even more with the Mexican company. According to WrestleVotes Radio, WWE is considering having Mysterio win the AAA Mega Championship to make him the top star in the company. The idea behind it is to have Mysterio appear on Netflix every week with AAA's top title, making it an appealing situation for both WWE and AAA. Mysterio will be challenging for the title at Triple Mania in a Fatal 4-Way, as El Hijo del Vikingo defends his gold against Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and El Grande Americano, which might end up being one of the biggest nights of Dirty Dom's career. Bianca Belair news now, as the EST of WWE is nearly cleared for action, and her return could come just days after SummerSlam. According to WrestleVotes, the former women's champion is expected to be medically cleared this coming week, with a possible comeback set for the August 9th episode of SmackDown. However, sources confirmed she won't be cleared in time for this weekend's SummerSlam, ending speculation of a surprise appearance. With SummerSlam wrapping up in a couple of days, Belair's return is officially within reach, and fans are eager to see where the EST fits into the post-SummerSlam landscape. Who should Bianca feud with first once she's cleared? Let us know your picks in the comments. Elsewhere, Jade Cargill has fired back at critics who believe she's getting a free ride in WWE during an appearance on Busted Open Radio. The former AEW star responded to claims that she's been protected too much or has been fast-tracked to the top when she's not ready, making it clear that she's heard the complaints but isn't letting them affect her. I can care less what they think. I feel like I don't. I know who I am, I know what I'm capable of, and I think people rush things so quick. I think that people put such a target on my back. Regardless, I can go out there and deliver a great match. People are going to pinpoint something. They're going to find something because of who I am and how I've been delivered, how quick I grew up in this game, who I have supporting me, how I look, that I don't need this career. Cargill then doubled down on the situation and made clear that people have no idea of what she's dealing with on a daily basis away from the spotlight. So I could care less because they're not the ones out there. They're not the ones that have to deal with what I have to deal with in and out every single day and what goes through our mind. I listen to the people that want to see me go out there and be my best. I listen to the people that want me to excel, and they know that I'm going to be a household legend. Those words came after she'd opened up about the behind-the-scenes adjustments that she's made since joining WWE, both in terms of building relationships and adapting her in-ring style to match with WWE wants. It's clear that WWE is a big fan of Cargill though, so anyone complaining about her will likely have to deal with it, as she's not around for the approval of anybody. Do you think Jade Cargill is being unfairly judged, or are fans right to question her WWE push? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. Now, AEW made a major creative decision during the live episode of Collision, therefore this is a spoiler warning for anyone who doesn't want to know about it. Please skip ahead if you'd prefer not to know. The episode saw an iconic tag team split up as the Acclaimed came to an end, with Billy Gunn and Anthony Bowens ultimately coming to blows. Bowens and Caster had already parted ways at AEW, but during AEW Collision this week, Bowens had it out with Gunn by asking where he was, which led to an explosive response. Bowens has made it clear that their partnership is over, with Bowens now moving forward and doing everything by himself. It remains to be seen what the future holds for each member of the group. We're ending with more AEW news now. While fans are enjoying the tag team tournament in the men's division, they'll have to wait a little longer for the women's tag team division to truly start making an impact. The official debut of the Women's World Tag Team titles has been delayed, and Tony Khan has revealed why, even though the belts themselves have been made and are ready to be used. Khan admitted to Iridian Fierro that the women's division is currently dealing with too many injuries, and he has talent that he'd like to be a part of the division, which is holding him back. Khan admitted that a quarter of the competitors in the recent Women's Casino Gauntlet ended up being hurt, and that has had a devastating impact on what he has planned. That isn't the only revelation Khan has made though, as he was also asked about the possibility of bringing back AEW Dark, a show he canceled a couple of years ago. The show was popular with hardcore fans, but it ultimately ended up being canceled as part of a new television deal, as space was needed for Collision. Khan admitted that while he'd love to bring the show back, it can only happen if it works with their TV partners. Therefore, AEW Dark's return would need to fit into the company's overall TV plans, even though he stressed that the company has great relationships with its current media partners.